You know, I was talking to my neighbor Margaret. The other day, she just turned 82, and she told me something that really stuck with me. She said, "I don't feel a day over 60. Now, Margaret isn't just saying that to be cheerful. She's sharp as a tack, remembers birthdays better than I do, and still takes her grandkids on hiking trips. And here's the thing, she's not some rare exception. There are plenty of people in their 70s, 80s, and beyond who have minds and energy that rival folks half their age. So what's their secret? Is it just good genes? Luck? Well, science says no. It turns out there are real, practical habits that keep some seniors feeling decades younger, mentally and physically. And the best part? These aren't complicated, expensive, or out of reach. They're simple, everyday choices that anyone can start making today. That's what we're going to talk about in this video. Why some 80-year-olds have the brains of 20-year-olds and how you can too. Because age is just a number, but how you feel, that's up to you. Now let's start with the first habit, and this one might surprise you. It's not about crossword puzzles or fancy brain games. It's about curiosity. You see, the brain thrives on novelty. When we're young, everything is new. We're learning, exploring, asking questions. But as we get older, it's easy to settle into routines. We stick to the same hobbies, the same routes to the store, the same TV shows. And while comfort is nice, our brains need stimulation to stay sharp. Think about it like this. If you only ever walked on flat, smooth pavement, your leg muscles would get weak over time, right? Well, your brain works the same way. If you don't challenge it, it starts to slow down. But the good news? It's never too late to give it a workout. So what does that look like in real life? It could be as simple as picking up a new book on a topic you know nothing about, or trying a new recipe, even if it turns out terrible. Your brain is getting a workout just by following new steps. Maybe it's learning a few phrases in a different language before a trip, or even just taking a different path on your morning walk. The key is to keep asking, what if I tried something new today? And here's something fascinating. Studies show that people who stay curious aren't just mentally sharper, they're happier. There's a joy in discovery at any age, so why not give it a try? Start small. Tomorrow, do one thing differently, even if it's just brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Yes, that counts. Now, the second habit is just as important, and it's something we often overlook as we get older: movement. I know, you might be thinking, I'm not running any marathons, and that's okay. You don't have to. But here's what the research tells us. The seniors who stay mentally sharp are almost always the ones who keep moving, not necessarily running or lifting weights, but just staying active in ways that feel good. Take walking, for example. A brisk 30-minute walk a few times a week does wonders for your brain. It boosts blood flow, helps grow new brain cells. Yes, really, and even reduces stress. But here's the catch. It's not just about the physical benefits. Walking outside, especially in nature, gives your brain a rich sensory experience. You're noticing the colors of the leaves, the sound of birds, the smell of fresh air. All of that keeps your mind engaged in ways that sitting inside just doesn't. And if walking isn't your thing, that's fine. Dancing, gardening, swimming, anything that gets you up and moving counts. The key is to find something you enjoy so it doesn't feel like a chore, because when it's fun, you'll stick with it. Now let's talk about the third habit, and this one is powerful: staying social. We've all heard that loneliness can be tough as we age, but did you know it can actually shrink your brain? On the flip side, strong social connections act like fertilizer for your mind. Conversations, laughter, even friendly debates, they all keep your brain firing on all cylinders. Think about the last time you had a really good chat with a friend. Maybe you reminisced about old times, or debated the best way to grow tomatoes. Either way, your brain was working hard, recalling memories, processing emotions, responding to cues. That's mental exercise in its purest form. And it doesn't have to be in person. Phone calls, video chats, even writing letters can keep those connections strong. The point is to make time for people who make you feel alive. Because at the end of the day, a busy brain is a young brain. Now, we've covered 3 key habits so far: staying curious, keeping active, and nurturing social connections. But there's more to this puzzle, and in the next part, we'll dive into the other essential habits that keep some seniors feeling decades younger. Because here's the truth. You can have the energy and sharpness of someone half your age. It's just a matter of knowing how. So, let's keep going. You know, I was visiting my Aunt Clara last month. She just turned 83. And something remarkable happened. We were playing cards with some of her friends from the senior center when one of them mentioned a new restaurant that had opened downtown. Before I could even pull out my phone to check the address, Clara had already mapped out the best route there, complete with where to park and even which dishes she'd heard were good. Her friends joked, "Clara, you've got a mind like a steel trap." And you know what? They're right. At 83, Clara's memory and quick thinking put many 40-year-olds to shame. What's her secret? It's not some miracle supplement or rare genetic gift. Like we discussed in the first part, it comes down to daily habits, the kind of simple choices anyone can make. We've already covered how staying curious, keeping active, and nurturing social connections can keep your brain young. Now, let's build on that foundation with 3 more powerful habits that science shows can help maintain and even improve your mental sharpness as you age. Let's start with habit number 4, feeding your brain the right fuel. Now, I'm not about to tell you to give up all your favorite foods or follow some restrictive diet. That's not sustainable, and frankly, it takes the joy out of eating. But here's what neurologists have discovered. Certain foods act like superchargers for your brain, while others, well, let's just say they don't do your mental sharpness any favors. Take the typical Western diet, high in processed foods, sugar, and unhealthy fats. Research shows this kind of eating actually shrinks the hippocampus. That's the memory center of your brain. One study from Australia followed people over 4 years and found those with the worst diets had hippocampi that aged an extra 2 years compared to their healthier eating peers. That's like adding 2 extra years of memory decline just from what's on your plate. But here's the good news. The reverse is also true. Foods rich in omega-3s, like salmon and walnuts, antioxidants, berries and dark leafy greens, and healthy fats, avocados, olive oil, actually protect your brain cells and help form new connections. I spoke with Dr. Ellen Richards, a neurologist at Boston Medical Center, who put it beautifully. Think of your brain like a luxury car. You wouldn't put cheap, dirty fuel in a Ferrari, would you? Your brain deserves the same consideration. Now, making changes doesn't have to be overwhelming. Start with simple swaps. Instead of white bread, try whole grain. Swap out vegetable oil for olive oil. Add a handful of nuts or berries to your breakfast. Choose fish instead of red meat once or twice a week. And here's a tip from my Aunt Clara. She makes what she calls a brain smoothie every morning. Greek yogurt, frozen blueberries, a spoonful of almond butter, and a dash of cinnamon. It's delicious, and she swears it keeps her mind sharp all morning. The key isn't perfection, it's progress. Every brain-healthy choice you make adds up over time. Now, let's move to habit 5, and this one might surprise you. Cultivating a sense of purpose. This isn't just some fluffy self-help concept. There's hard science behind it. A landmark study from Rush University Medical Center followed nearly 1,000 older adults and found that those with strong life purpose were 2.4 times less likely to develop Alzheimer's disease. Let that sink in. Having reasons to get up in the morning might be as protective for your brain as some medications. But what does purpose really mean at this stage of life? It doesn't have to be some grand mission. For my neighbor Frank, it's maintaining his rose garden and giving bouquets to the local nursing home. For my friend Martha, it's being the neighborhood grandma who bakes cookies for the kids after school. Purpose can be volunteering at your church or community center, passing on skills or family stories to younger generations, learning something new to share with others, even caring for a pet that depends on you. The key is feeling that you matter, that your presence makes a difference in some way. I'll never forget what 87-year-old Henry told me at his weekly woodworking class. When I'm teaching these young folks how to turn a block of wood into something beautiful, I forget all about my age. I feel alive and useful. That's the power of purpose. It engages your mind while feeding your soul. Now, let's talk about habit 6, and this may be the most underappreciated brain booster of all, quality sleep. If you're like many people over 60, you might find yourself saying, I just don't sleep like I used to. Maybe you wake up at 3 a.m. and can't get back to sleep, or you feel tired even after what should have been enough rest. Here's what you need to understand. Sleep isn't just downtime. It's when your brain does its most important maintenance work. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins, including those linked to Alzheimer's, consolidates memories from the day, repairs neural connections, regulates mood and stress hormones. When you skimp on sleep, it's like forcing your brain to work in a cluttered, messy office. Dr. Rebecca Robbins, a sleep scientist at Harvard, explains, poor sleep in older adults isn't an inevitable part of aging. It's often due to habits and environment factors we can change. Here are some research-backed tips to improve your sleep. Harness the power of light. Get morning sunlight to set your internal clock and reduce blue light from screens in the evening. Create a sleep sanctuary. Keep your bedroom cool, around 65 degrees is ideal, dark and quiet. Consider blackout curtains if streetlights bother you. Watch your timing. That afternoon nap might feel good, but keep it under 30 minutes and before 3 p.m. Mind your beverages. Limit fluids 2 hours before bed to reduce nighttime bathroom trips and cut back on caffeine after noon. Establish a wind-down routine. Whether it's reading, gentle stretches, or listening to calming music, a consistent pre-sleep ritual signals your brain it's time to rest. One technique that's helped many of my viewers is the 4-7-8 breathing method. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It's remarkably effective for falling back asleep when you wake up at night. Now, before we move forward, I want to pause and acknowledge something important. Adopting new habits isn't always easy, especially when you've had decades of routines. Maybe you're thinking, this sounds great, but where do I even start? Here's my suggestion. Pick just one of these habits that resonates most with you and focus on that for a week or two. Small successes build confidence and momentum. Remember my Aunt Clara? She started with just one change, adding that brain smoothie to her mornings. After a few weeks, she had more energy, so she began taking short walks. Those walks led to meeting new people at the park, which sparked her interest in joining a book club. Now, at 83, she's more socially and mentally active than she was at 70. That's the power of small steps leading to big transformations. What we're really talking about here isn't just adding years to your life. It's adding life to your years. Because when your mind stays sharp, every day becomes more vibrant and fulfilling. You get to fully enjoy time with family, pursue interests you're passionate about, and wake up each morning feeling engaged with the world around you. In the next part, we'll explore the final pieces of this puzzle, including some surprising ways to protect your brain that most people never consider. But for now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these habits resonates most with you? Have you noticed how certain choices affect your mental sharpness? Your experiences could inspire others in our community, because here's the beautiful truth. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. With the right habits, your later years can be some of your most rewarding, filled with clarity, connection, and joy. And that's something worth waking up for every single day. There's a saying I love. We don't stop playing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop playing. And you know what? Science is proving just how true that really is. In the first 2 parts of this series, we've covered 6 powerful habits that help keep your brain sharp well into your 80s and beyond, staying curious, keeping active, nurturing social ties, eating for your brain, finding purpose, and prioritizing sleep. But we're not done yet. Today, we're going to dive into the final 3 habits, including one that might surprise you, and tie everything together so you can start making these changes right away. Because here's the truth, you can have the energy, memory, and mental clarity of someone decades younger. It's not about luck or genetics. It's about the choices you make every single day. So, let's get started with habit number 7, managing stress before it manages you. Now, we all know stress isn't great for us. But did you know it actually shrinks your brain? Chronic stress floods your system with cortisol, a hormone that, in high doses, damages the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and learning. Over time, this can lead to brain fog, forgetfulness, and even increase your risk for dementia. But here's the good news. You don't have to eliminate stress completely. That's impossible. You just need to manage it better. And the best part? Some of the most effective stress busters are also the simplest. Take deep breathing, for example. It sounds almost too easy, but research shows that just 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing can lower cortisol levels by up to 50%. Try this. Sit comfortably, place one hand on your belly, and inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 4. Feel your belly rise. Hold for a second. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. Repeat 5 times. That's it. You've just given your brain a mini reset. Another powerful tool, laughter. It's not just good for the soul, it's like a workout for your brain. Laughing releases endorphins, your body's natural feel-good chemicals, reduces stress hormones, and even improves blood flow to your brain. So, watch that funny movie, call the friend who always makes you chuckle, or even try a laughter yoga class. Yes, that's a real thing. And let's not forget about nature. Spending just 20 minutes outside, whether it's gardening, walking in a park, or simply sitting under a tree, can lower stress levels more effectively than some medications. The Japanese call it forest bathing, and studies show it boosts mood, lowers blood pressure, and even enhances creativity. The bottom line? Stress isn't the enemy. It's unmanaged stress that causes damage. Find what works for you, whether it's deep breathing, laughter, nature, prayer, or gentle yoga, and make it a daily habit. Your brain will thank you. Now, let's move on to habit number 8. Protecting your hearing. This one catches many people off guard. What does hearing have to do with brain health? As it turns out, a lot. Research shows that even mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia. Moderate loss triples it. And severe hearing loss makes you 5 times more likely to develop cognitive decline. Why? Because when your brain has to work overtime just to decipher sounds and conversations, it steals resources from other important functions, like memory and thinking. Over time, this constant strain can lead to irreversible damage. But here's the good news. Protecting your hearing is easier than you think. Start with these simple steps. Get your hearing checked regularly. Many senior centers offer free screenings. Wear ear protection in loud environments. Even vacuuming or mowing the lawn can damage hearing over time. If you need hearing aids, use them. Too many people let vanity or discomfort keep them from devices that could literally save their brains. And here's a bonus tip. Train your ears like you would any other muscle. Try listening to audiobooks or podcasts at a low volume, practice identifying different bird calls in nature, or even take up a musical instrument. Keeping your auditory system engaged keeps your brain sharp. Now let's talk about the 9th and final habit. Embracing technology. Yes, really. I know what some of you are thinking. Technology? At my age? No thank you. But hear me out. Learning new technologies, even just the basics, is one of the best workouts for your brain. It forces you to think in new ways, make new neural connections, and stay engaged with the modern world. You don't have to become a computer whiz overnight. Start small. Learn to video call with family. Seeing loved ones' faces is a huge mood booster too. Try a brain training app, like Lumosity or Peak, for just 5 minutes a day. Use GPS when driving. It actually helps build spatial reasoning skills. A study from the University of Texas found that seniors who learned to use tablets and smartphones showed significant improvements in memory and processing speed after just 6 weeks. Why? Because novelty forces your brain to grow. Now let's tie everything together. You might be feeling overwhelmed. 9 habits is a lot to remember. But here's the secret. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, trying to change too much too fast is the quickest way to give up entirely. Instead, focus on progress, not perfection. Pick one habit that resonates most with you and start there. Maybe it's adding more brain foods to your diet. Maybe it's calling an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe it's simply taking a daily walk around the block. Small steps lead to big changes over time. And remember, this isn't about adding years to your life, though it might. It's about adding life to your years. It's about being able to remember your grandchildren's birthdays, enjoy lively conversations with friends, and wake up each morning feeling engaged with the world around you. So here's my challenge to you. Today, choose one small change you can make. Write it down. Tell someone about it for accountability. And when you succeed, because you will, celebrate that victory. Then build on it. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which of these habits speaks to you most? What's one small change you'll make this week? Your story could inspire someone else to take that first step too. And if you found this video helpful, do me a favor. Hit that like button and share it with a friend or family member, because everyone deserves to age with grace, vitality, and a sharp mind. Remember, aging isn't about decline. It's about opportunity. The opportunity to learn, to grow, to connect, and to enjoy life in ways you never could when you were younger. Here's to living your best years, starting today. Until next time, keep thriving, keep learning, and keep embracing all the joy this stage of life has to offer. You've earned it.